Hey everyone, so there's been an update on the killer for the UnitedHealthCare CEO. Supposedly, the news is saying it's a guy named Luigi Mangione, and this guy is like a valedictorian, like successful, smart person. And I guess it's a matter of time, and by time I mean like decades after they throw him in jail, if we figure out if it's actually him and he was just walking around with a bunch of evidence, like a bunch of very, very bad evidence, like a manifesto on him, or if the CIA just pulled a CIA and like just planted it and just ruined a guy's life to, protect the better interests of the government. And by the government, I mean specifically the people currently in power who are making money off of all the laws and shit that allow people to fuck other people over and just collect their money for insurance and actually not give them the product that they were paying for monthly. Luigi Mangione was someone from Maryland. He graduated as a valedictorian in high school, and he graduated Penn State University in 2020, and has been like living in Pennsylvania since. So supposedly he drove all the way from Pennsylvania to New York just to kill this person, and supposedly did shit like lifting off his mask to talk to some random person. When the clothes don't even like completely match color in the CCTV, it could just be someone else. That part hasn't been fully confirmed yet. But then again, people can also just switch jackets and shit. But I don't even think it's the same person. But who knows? Maybe he just whacked some innocent civilian and stole their whole outfit. That's why he has on different clothes in the two pictures on like some Agent 47 shit. At least for that specific piece of evidence, I don't think it really counts. I don't even think it's accurate. But to be fair, if the CIA did do some shit like that, like they would obviously blame it on somebody that, obviously would have a 1% chance of actually doing it because they have the benefit of working backwards and to find someone that perfectly fits the description of the people they're looking for, and someone that has like the same specific beliefs. And this time it just happened to be like some like successful valedictorian person, like not just some random person that was like you know barely getting by and like turned to a terrorist because of like how mad they are at society because they're just that big of a loser. This is like somebody that actually has like a giant circle and a bunch of connections and people that like would actually care about him if he went to prison for some of this shit. So they're doing it to like set an example. But I don't know, he's just a suspect and he's just been like, arrested. So he can't like, so they know exactly where he's at and they know he can't do anything to any evidence. That obviously makes sense for a suspect in a murder case. It makes sense to just have him in a cell where you know where he's at during the investigation. I know it's inconvenient and shit, but that's just how it works. And I don't blame them for arresting him. I just think it's weird how like so quickly they found the guy if he was like this much of a professional, you know what I mean? Like if he was actually this smart and graduated college and so dedicated that he drove over to a different state just to do this, I don't think he would have actually slipped up like this person in the footage, like taking off their mask and shit, if that's even the same guy. For all we know, like Luigi Mangione was just a normal shit poster like the rest of us, just going through his Twitter history. He doesn't have any like weird extremist beliefs. Like the guy that like was at the golf course with a gun trying to kill Trump for the God knows however many times someone's tried to do it. They found his like Twitter post and that guy was completely unhinged, like straight up nutcase. This is an actual like decently smart person that has like a lot of shit to lose if they were to just go out and murder somebody. Like the CIA is an organization meant to like suppress intelligence from like the common civilians. If they wanted to ruin somebody's life or frame somebody or just straight up make them disappear, that's literally the whole point of the invention of the CIA. Like they've literally changed history and put dictators in power and caused coups and overturned countries because the CIA is just made to like overwrite history and make people disappear for the benefit of like the people at power in the United States. And then also they make a newspaper to put on the president's desk just so they can like say that they're an intelligence agency and not like a shadow organization that does a bunch of shady shit that has been, declassified after a couple of decades and proven that they've been lying about a lot of shit for years, and everybody's just fine with it. So cool, I guess. Because if it does come out in the future, God knows however many decades later, that this person wasn't the actual shooter, then it's just gonna be like, oh well, the people that were in charge then are all retired now, and they're all just chilling in their fucking islands with their millions of dollars. So we don't give a fuck. Literally, what are you gonna do about it? Like, there's nothing that anybody can do today about the JFK assassination. So some random CEO that's just fucking over people that are like dying of cancer and stuff, no one's really gonna care. Like, if they couldn't stop people like JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. from dying. And speaking of which, Martin Luther King Jr.'s family has sued the CIA for wrongful death over his assassination and actually won the case. I mean, come on. Would somebody smiling next to a Happy Meal murder a man, shoot him 3 times in the middle of the street, broad daylight, in cold blood? I don't think so. Nice try, CIA. And if you look at his Twitter banner, you can see that he has this like spinal surgery and these like metal disc in his spine and shit, which could be related to UnitedHealthCare or whatever. I mean, like, spinal surgery isn't cheap, and basically the CEO's whole goal is to like make as much profit for the company by imposing policies to fuck over people that are paying monthly for the shit that is supposed to like save their life. And if you think about it, how like almost every American citizen has like some form of health insurance, and for the fact that like they're systematically just trying to deny as many claims as possible so they don't have to pay out to these injured people. This guy quite possibly may have killed more people than Adolf Hitler, like the United Healthcare CEO, because it's so systematic and there's so many people within their system. Like, their whole goal is to just, let as many human lives go down the drain from like injury and not being able to work and being drowned out in medical bills and shit, so they can just collect more profit. Not even so like that they don't go under, just so that their profit stays at a certain level and doesn't, go down compared to like the last quarter. I don't know, if it was me that was doing some kind of racket where I was just basically like seeing how much I can like sell out people's health for my own profit, I would hire a fucking bodyguard or a whole security team at least. Like, even Drake has had a security team for years. Like, he's in Canada, but he's paying top dollar for having, strong ass guards walking around with guns next to him, because he knows like he's big enough that somebody just might mess with him. And I don't know, if your company is just like basically just saying fuck you to injured people and robbing them, you would think that over time, when you do that to like millions of people, maybe a couple of them might be mad at you, and maybe somebody might want to like get a little bit of revenge or something. Why not use 1% of that money that you're stealing and robbing people, like cancer patients and people with terminal illnesses and shit? Why not use some of that money to hire security? Like, that would be a smart investment. Like, I'm pretty sure when you're that big, you can have like armed security even in New York, because you can basically just have your own private police force with you. And if you couldn't, I would just stay out of New York City, or if I had to be there, I would just do a virtual meeting or have some secretary or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know who the fuck the CEO thought he was. Like literally God or something, to the point where he thought he was just invincible and that he could just like walk around freely after like robbing millions of people. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It seems like his death could have been some other kind of insurance scam. Because I don't know why you would just be so negligent like that. I know killing people is bad, but like if you're doing shit to like fuck over people and just letting people die so you can put more money in your pocket that they gave you to like protect them every single month, that's the point of health insurance. You would expect that some fucking crazy person would run up on you like, and the news is acting like that the CEO isn't going to hell. Like it just makes no sense why the news just wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, somebody was shot dead in New York, and that's pretty much it. But now they're like, now we're looking for the killer that shot this beloved CEO that so many people loved, and it's fucking bullshit. Like I don't even know why they're acting like he's so important and that like people would love him. All that really does is just make normal people hate the people running the news more. But I bet that United Healthcare was just like, hey, we'll give you $5 million to keep running these stories. And they're like, oh, okay. Because I don't know why companies just never take into effect that, like, actually being liked by people may actually do some good in the long run. And that you can't just look at everything like a number and just see how much we can maximize our profit off of it and ignore any factors that might pop up. I guess like it's probably because they have some accounting guy that's like, oh, I can get these numbers up, and any other costs, well, that doesn't fall on me, so they're just gonna have to hire someone else to take care of that problem. But I did specifically what my job was to get those numbers up, and even if it means like, well, maybe people will just stop using United Healthcare because they're gonna see our shitty policies or anything, it doesn't matter because they're just gonna hire people the next financial quarter to go over the numbers and try to get them up in whatever scummy ways that they can think of, not caring about the people that'll have to take care of it next and all the people that'll have to like literally suffer and like not get their hospital bills paid and then go into debt while trying to work on an injury and shit. It's pretty fucked up. Like you got to treat people like human beings if you want them to have like at least 1% of compassion or respect towards you or your family. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Don't murder people, but like don't also systematically get people murdered. You know what I mean? Just don't be evil. It's that simple, really. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if raccoons are based in Epic.